Welcome back to everyone to another episode of the Fourth and Mile podcast. That's Nicholas Elliott. I'm JD Zaza, and welcome back to college football. We are onto a college football week that is going to be massive in two conferences. It's going to be a big week, and we're also going to preview last week, including a lot of the big news that happened, especially the few days after following last Saturday.
Yep.
Nicholas, how are you doing today?
Doing good, man. I mean, last week was a great college football slate, and this week is seems like it's just as good.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
I had a great time. I had a great time. I got to
Yeah,
stay up. I had a good birthday. My
yeah.
birthday was last Friday, so I got to watch college football for my birthday weekend, and that's a hell of a birthday gift.
Yep.
And then what else? What else happened? There was one other thing I was going to bring up, but
Coaching news.
obviously we're going to start with coach. That's what it was. We're going to start off today with coaching news because obviously the big one that happened. But we'll get into that a little later. But let's talk about the two smaller ones because
Yeah.
then we can go into the big one. So the first big firing that happened over the weekend was Oregon State firing their coach after going 0-7. So they're out of bowl eligibility. They're not going to be
Yep.
bowling this year. And the Beavers, they fired their coach, which
Oregon State's just in a bad spot because they are not in the
yeah,
conference.
ever since Jonathan Smith left to go to Michigan State, Oregon State really it started with that and then the downfall of the Pac-12 and then
Well, Jonathan Smith. I mean, his seat at Michigan State's probably warming up, so maybe he'll.
yeah, it could be a reunion, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean Oregon State is just a dead program.
Yep.
And I feel bad for Oregon State because they were kind of left behind while their big
Yep.
brother is making millions and one of the top teams in college football.
And the other small job that opened up that's local for us is Trent Dilfer out at UAB, which is really
Yeah,
no shock. And
no shock.
I think it's Alex Mortensen.
Yeah, for people that don't know, UAB was a dead program for a while, and when I mean dead, they didn't have football for a while.
Yeah,
They
Bill.
recently got back, and when they did, they were really good. They won
Yeah,
the American twice. They had consistent 10-win programs, but then their coach retired because
yeah, Bill Clark.
he had problems with his back.
And the thing with this program, UAB. So UAB,
And then they made the weird hire of Trent Dilfer as the
yeah,
Super Bowl winning quarterback of the 2000 Ravens, but we all know the 2000 Ravens were built by that defense. So
yeah, he went on a radio show that I listened to in Birmingham, like yesterday, and I mean, kind of crazy to go on a show after you get fired, but just he said Trent Dilfer said he's going to go like visit other programs around the country, NFL teams, college, you name it, because just to get better at coaching. I mean, it's
yeah,
really tough to go from high school to college,
yeah.
especially. I mean, learn a lot.
I mean nothing but for the best for all the coaches that
Yeah,
got fired. I mean, look, it's a tough job.
yeah,
Tough job, and for Trent Dilfer, yeah, go learn for a little bit. Learn from this experience.
yeah.
It's never like you're gonna come back to coaching. It's just you gotta learn.
So this week, before we get on to the next coach, but UAB is playing Memphis. So this game they call it the Children's Harbor game. It's like
That's a tough game because Memphis
yeah.
is the top.
But this game for UAB is like bigger than football because the trophy is like children's hospital. It's like Children's Harbor is like a between
And UAB has a big medical program, so they
yeah
really emphasize
bigger
it.
than sports for them this week. But
Yeah.
wait, why don't you break down the biggest coaching news of the week?
Yep. So the biggest coaching news of the week, as everyone kind of expected, actually, not many people expected this. I think we all thought it might happen, but it's just the way it happened was a little shocking. James Franklin is no longer the head coach of Penn State. Now, this one we could make a whole podcast episode on itself. But basically, to run down, James Franklin was at Penn State for 12 years. By far the longest running head coach in the Big Ten. Not even close. He took Penn State over after having Vanderbilt as a consistent 9-win team, which this is 2000s Vanderbilt. So, yeah, that he did a really good job there, and he was qualified for this job. During his time at Penn State, he did a ton of positives for Penn State. He modernized the program. Basically, before the scandal happened, which is his biggest accomplishment, Penn State was still recruiting kind of like they did in the 80s and 90s. And that's why Penn State was not good in the early 2000s and in the 90s. Obviously, Joe Paterno was great and all, and he's still one of the great coaches of all time. But as we know, his legacy is tainted because of the big thing that happened with the Sandusky case. I mean, and the biggest thing for James Franklin, his biggest accomplishment, and something that I will go to war for, I will go to war for James Franklin, is because he made Penn State a place people wanted to go after. In a time no one wanted to go there. Like, Penn State could have easily gotten death penalty. Like, that Sandusky case was that bad. I mean, we're not
still winning at a high level.
And he was still winning at a high level. It took a few years, obviously, but once he did, Penn State was one of the three of the Big Ten for the first time since the prime of Joe Paterno.
Yeah.
They were the big three for a long time, which is a very good accomplishment. But having said all this, he's also Penn State's John Cooper. Now, little college football history. John Cooper was the coach after Earl Bruce. So it went Woody Hayes, who's the godfather of Ohio State football. Earl Bruce, who constantly won 9 games, was decent in the game between Michigan. But then because of the AD and everything, they really didn't like Earl Bruce. So what they did was they hired John Cooper. And John Cooper was basically the modern day James Franklin. He was great at every single game that wasn't big. But he was terrible in the big games. He did not have a good record against Michigan. He won, I think, 2 or 3 games against Michigan. He won a Rose Bowl against Arizona State. And he made a few New Year's Six Bowls, but that's about it. He could never win the big game. And that's what James Franklin's legacy at Penn State is. On the winning side, he won a few. He won
a Rose Bowl against USC.
Franklin won a Rose Bowl. He won it against Utah. He didn't win that game.
Yeah. I thought you said Arizona State for a second. I was confused.
Well, Arizona State, John Cooper's Ohio State, Arizona State, that Rose Bowl. That was the Snake, Jake the Snake Plummer. But again, going back to it, James Franklin won the Cotton Bowl. He won a Fiesta Bowl. He won a Rose Bowl. I don't think he won a Sugar Bowl.
I didn't get in the Sugar Bowl.
Big Ten titles, which is before Jim Harbaugh did. So there's that. He had so many first-round draft picks that are still great today. Micah Parsons, Saquon Barkley, Abdul Carter. It felt like Penn State could always get a really good player, even though they weren't highly recruited. The issue, though, with Penn State was they could never get over the hump.
Yep.
They could never go from that really good team up to great. And that's the curse. That's been the curse of some of these other teams. Another team was kind of in the same scenario as Penn State was A&M. They always wanted to be good but not great, so they hired Jimbo. And that turned out to be the biggest buyout ever. Penn State now has the second biggest buyout ever in college football history. They're paying James Franklin $49 million to not coach. And obviously there's rumors going around about maybe Adidas was a part of this.
Yeah.
No one knows for true, but wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But basically, James Franklin could never win the big one. And I've talked so much. Nicholas, what's your take on just this and James Franklin's legacy at Penn State?
I mean, he'll be remembered, man. I mean, when you win that 10 games for like 3 or 4 straight years, I mean, that's good accomplishment. Too bad he was doing it during when it was the 4-team playoff and not and did it last year during the first time of the 12-team. But look, Penn State's still a good, like, there's one thing, James Franklin's going to go somewhere and he's going to do what he did. I mean, he's a really good coach. He just can't win that big game. It's fine. It's like
one of the top names for a lot of these vacant head coaching jobs. And there are going to be more head coaching jobs that are going to be open. There's going to be a lot of good jobs open. And James Franklin is probably going to be at the top of one of those lists.
He could end up anywhere where he wants to go, he can pretty much go. Because, I mean,
basically, yeah.
He wants to keep coaching, he can. But that's a good thing about being fired. Usually, if you're being fired, there's like not many options. Well, for him, there's going to be a lot of options.
The thing for James Franklin, he can basically pick where he wants to go. If he wants,
which is not really, which never happens. This is probably like a very rare case. If you're Penn State, I don't know.
For Penn State, it's going to be tough. Again, Penn State's in a weird place. They're not bad. They're not bad. And again, James Franklin was one game. Think of this. In January 2025, we're in the same year. James Franklin was one game away from playing in the national championship for the first time in his career. One game away. And they lose to Notre Dame off of a back-hour interception. But they went to the semifinals. Say what you will about their path and everything, but they were a semifinal team.
Yeah.
And lost to a good Notre Dame team. Now, granted, would they be in Ohio State? No. No team was going to beat Ohio State. They were just on a path of destruction.
Maybe the game would have been better against them.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. But, again, that was in January 2025. In this year, they had everyone come back. You heard all the hype. Besides Abdul Carter and a few pieces, Penn State was returning everyone. Aller, Singleton, Allen, most of their key players on defense. They brought in so many really good receivers out of the portal. I mean, this was the year that a ton of people were saying they were going to be the national champions. They were ranked number 2 in the polls over Ohio State, over Alabama, over a lot of these good schools, because everyone thought this is the year for Penn State. This is the year. You have everything lined up. You get a big game at home against a young Oregon team. If you win that game, you kickstart everything. And now it's October 16th, 2025, and James Franklin doesn't have a job anymore.
Nope.
Because they lost to Northwestern. To Northwestern, and they lost 3 straight games.
Yeah. I'm not too sure about. I guess we'll know more about candidates. Who knows? It's way too early to.
Yeah, I mean the name that I've heard mostly is Matt Rule, but
yeah,
will he take
that would be a downgrade.
But yeah, that's the tough scenario for Penn State. They got to go big game hunting if they really want an upgrade for this.
It's kind of crazy. You're gonna have to spend so you paid him $50 million to come out, and now you're gonna have to go spend probably $100.
That's a tough thing. Penn State's one of the lucky few that can actually do this, but not only do they have to pay $50 million, they have to pay this next coach
probably like $100 million.
And if you're getting who you think you're going to get, you're going to have to pay him $100 million, and then you're going to have to pay $27 million just for your roster.
So probably like $200 million just next year just to fund your program.
Probably $250 million at this point.
Maybe, yeah. All right. You want to get into last week's games?
Yep, let's do
We
it.
can, yeah,
we-
let's
we
we can
went
cover
over
the
the
Big
big-
Ten game.
We went over the biggest story.
Yeah,
We went over the biggest story, obviously Franklin firing, but let's get into the stuff that actually
on the field.
on the field.
All right, we can start in the Big Ten. I mean, Oregon. I mean, Indiana goes straight into Autzen Stadium and like big boys. Oregon. I mean,
You know what?
Indiana really surprised
What?
me.
Indiana, tip of the cap to you. Tip of the cap to you because you proved myself, Nicholas, and 90%
Everybody
of
else.
the football world wrong. You got a statement win against Oregon. You broke the longest home game winning streak in the country. Not even Ohio State last year could beat Oregon and Autzen. But who did it? Indiana. Signetti, Mendoza, Surratt, Indiana. And they didn't just win the game. They beat them at their own at Big Ten football. They were the more physical, and they played Big Ten football. That was Big Ten football in a nutshell. Indiana is built to be a national title contender, which is crazy to say in football. But it's true. Indiana's a national title contender. They're a national title contender. I mean, it's crazy to say. Mendoza is going to be probably a Heisman finalist. Surratt is one of the best receivers in the country. They just beat Oregon at their own game. And Oregon couldn't do anything. Obviously, this is a young Oregon team. They're going to learn from this, but still, at home, Indiana just won the line of scrimmage against a way more talented team in Oregon, which is crazy to say. But yeah, Indiana was the better team all game. And don't look at the scoreboard because it doesn't really say the story. If you watch the game, Indiana just – it felt like Indiana blew them out. It felt like it.
Here you go. Speaking of this game, there is some breaking news.
What's that?
Kurt Signetti's getting a new contract extension.
Well, he's one of the names. He's one of the names that's in the running for Penn State. A lot of people want for Penn State. So
good on Indiana for getting ahead. They're probably going to up the buyout. So I mean,
what did he get?
No details yet, but
it just came out that he's getting extended.
Yeah.
Good for Signetti, a former Saban assistant, another Saban assistant building a program. Good for Signetti, and plus he's up there in age, so you know what? Good for him. What are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, Indiana just dominated in the trenches. Both lines of scrimmage, absolute domination.
Yeah, basically.
And then Dante Moore kind of really looked – he hurt, bad, all of the above. Their run game couldn't get going. Their passing game was bad. It was just Indiana had Oregon in hell and their own stadium. And
so basically –
Mendoza didn't play great because it's numbers. There you go.
Basically, Indiana football said he's here to stay, and Indiana is an 8-year contract through 2033, and they're paying Signetti $11.6 million a year.
There you go. And 8 years, $66 million.
So basically, yeah. I mean, here, you keep talking. I gotta look up something about this contract.
Yeah, well, I wonder if there's buyout stuff in there, but
obviously, I mean
Oregon.
We all know why they did this.
Yeah. Well, if you're Oregon, you really don't have much left the rest of the season. I mean, it's just like Oregon's resume now is just bad. I mean, you got your best win is a team that just lost 3 games in a row and fired their coach. And now you got like Oregon's in a bad spot right now, but I mean the rest of the season is a cakewalk for them. I guess USC is the only remaining game on their schedule where they can get a ranked win. I mean Iowa will be tough for them because going into Iowa is never easy. If they get 2 losses, they probably won't be in the playoffs.
Look, Penn State's Penn State, but going into a whiteout and winning that game at night is still a massive win.
If you're Oregon, man, there's 2 games, or I guess three counting USC, but going into Kinnick Stadium and then going into Seattle, like to end the season, those 3 games will decide your playoff fate. If you lose one more, in my opinion, if it's not USC, you might be out of the playoffs.
Okay, according to USA Today Sports, Kirk Cignetti is making an average annual value. He's the third. He gets the third most out of average annual value of anyone. The only 2 guys that make more than him average annual value is Kirby Smart of Georgia, who makes 13.3 a year, and Ryan Day, who makes 12.5. So he's above Lincoln Riley, Dabo Sweeney, Sarkisian, Lanning, DeBoer, Brian Kelly, Belichick, Heupel, Drinkwitz, Stoops, Kiffin, and just go down the list.
Yeah, I mean, if DeBoer wins this year, it wins it all this year, he'll get a nice pay raise. I mean,
we'll see. I mean, but still, going back, we gotta stay on topic. Indiana here to stay.
Yeah. Got to upgrade that stadium though. That stadium still looks like a
high school venue. They will if they continue to win, and most likely in that contract, there's a stipulation in there.
Yeah,
I mean, look at some. Here's one for us. Oates. The reason he didn't Kentucky is because he probably put in a stipulation there. Build me a practice facility. Where they Roman Coliseum, they're building a practice.
If you're Indiana basketball, you might as well just say get out of the way. Indiana football is here.
Right now, Indiana football is here, and they've got college football world in a tight grip.
All right, let's get on to the next game. Game that shocked most.
Indiana's number 3 in the nation.
Yeah, their schedule also is a cakewalk the rest of the way. They really
go
undefeated or they'll.
Indiana, but here's the thing: Indiana's biggest competition is going to be themselves. Yeah. Indiana's never been here.
They got to go to Beaver Stadium, which still, Penn State has nothing to lose. Drew Hour's out for the season.
All these teams are going to go, we have nothing to lose.
UCLA could shock them.
All these teams have nothing to lose. So they're like, why not just go beat Indiana?
Yep.
All right, where do you want to go next?
No, every team was doubting this team after its loss the week before, but this week they're back. Texas just dominates Oklahoma for 4 quarters practically. Really, the second half is when they turned it on.
Yep.
The headline here is, did Oklahoma probably brought back Mateer a bit too early?
Yeah.
He really didn't look sluggish. He looked all right, but it's more so Texas defense. We both said it was going to be a low-scoring game, which we said
We both said it'd be a defensive slugfest, which
and the difference in the game, the punt return, and then Arch Manning looked great. I'm happy for Arch.
Finally had a good game. He finally had a good game, and it was his legs that were the biggest factor in the game.
And he was making some good throws too. That they had a couple big runs too. Wisner had a big run that set him up.
I think this game more so. I think Oklahoma just ran out of gas, to be honest, because the offense went 3 and out so many times.
I don't know, a little rusty for not having him out there.
I don't know the exact time of possession. I'm going to look it up currently, but it felt like Texas had the ball like the entire time.
Yeah. What this game is really
couldn't drive.
yeah.
their running game has been disappointing this year. Jaden Ott's been nowhere this
They
year.
haven't even used them. They haven't even
Yeah, they
used
barely
them.
used him. They have
Now,
no running game, and without Mateer healthy, they had no offense. And they
now
ran
you
into
gotta
this team that was angry, fighting for their lives, and it has so much talent on there.
yeah. Really, it's really what it came down to was
Yeah, I mean,
special
actually,
teams.
possession was pretty. It was 30 minutes to 30-29 Texas. So
Really, the difference was the punt return from Texas, and
the difference in the game really turned out to be Texas had 0 turnovers in this game.
Yep.
Oklahoma had 3.
Yep, that's the difference right there. And they were just rusty or sluggish. They didn't really. I guess they didn't put enough faith in Hawkins to be able to rest Mateer for another week or so. That's
or they were like Mateer. They probably were like Mateer gives us the best chance to win, and
Mateer's a Texas kid. He's from the state.
Yeah,
he probably really wanted to play in the game, which I don't
blame him.
Don't blame him one bit.
But for Oklahoma,
your gauntlet.
This is your here. You thought your first half of the schedule was hard. Yeah, good luck. Now you got to go to South Carolina.
That's
Ole Miss,
a weird game.
State, Alabama, Missouri, and LSU left. Those are your games left. So we'll find out how good Oklahoma is this year.
And these next 3 games, South Carolina's never easy. South Carolina's not very good this year, but they're hungry.
South Carolina.
Yeah, on the road. They're lucky it's a day game. It's 11:45, but
yeah.
And then you host Ole Miss at 11 a.m. next week, which that'll be a good game. Depends what Ole Miss does this week, but
all their games remaining are going to be.
Yeah, all their games remaining are ranked games besides this week, and this is the game they lost last year at home. So you got to turn the page over real quick if you want to make the playoffs. If you're Oklahoma, I mean 5-1, you're gonna have to go in a Neyland.
You say what you want about Oklahoma, but they have 1 loss.
Yeah,
which is more they can say than Texas.
Yeah,
at least Oklahoma can still drop 1 more game, but if they run the table, if they drop only 1 more game, they're in the playoff.
If you're Texas, though, it's a big confidence booster to get that win over Oklahoma because you're right back on track.
The Florida game really put some eyes on Texas.
Yeah.
And Texas, they're a wounded animal mode. If they lose 1 more game, they're out.
But good thing for them is their schedule. They get bottom feeders these next 2 games. I mean, still could. They go to Kentucky at night, which is kind of weird, very weird game.
It's a weird game. I'm surprised that's a night game, to be honest.
Yeah, and then you go to Starkville, which not an easy environment. You can ask Tennessee.
Their November is going to be rough, though. That's a rough November.
Host Vanderbilt. Got to go to Athens. That's your season right there. Athens, and then playing A&M. I mean, A&M.
And then Arkansas.
Yeah.
A rivalry.
That's a home game at least for them. But I mean, Texas, your defense can win. Defense travels. That's one good thing. You need to get more consistency from your
run game travels. And I saw a lot of that.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of positives in the run game. Again, I thought this would be a good game, and I didn't have much to say about this game. Texas is good, which I expected. They're a well-coached team. They have all the talent in the world.
If you can build on that with that offensive line, then you're going to be confident in the offense the rest of the season. But let's get into a different game. Let's get into the next game before we get on the previews. All right. Alabama
beats Missouri, survives.
Yep.
Alabama survives a late surge by Missouri. So
the scoreboard really doesn't define what the whole game was.
No, and Alabama had controlled most of the game. Really, the only time Alabama really you felt like Bama could maybe be on an upset watch was
right out of halftime. Really,
the opening drive and then that 4th and 8, which kind of changed the game right there.
Yep. And right out of halftime when you got that strip sack. I mean, really.
Yeah.
The good thing about this game, defense played really good. Outside the first drive, outside the scripted drive, everybody when you get to the unscripted plays, really when you tell if that offense versus defense.
The SEC good and bad came out of this for the SEC. The
Yeah.
good news is you have a game plan to beat Missouri. You
Yeah.
stack the box and make Purvila win you the game because Ahmad Hardy in this game had only 50 plus rushing yards. That's it. And they made Purvila throw the football, and you saw they didn't turn the ball. They turned the ball over a fair amount, but Purvila, Hardy, they had Butterfingers the entire game. And there were interceptions that should have been caught by Alabama.
Yeah.
That could have put the game away earlier. The bad news for the SEC is Alabama might be really good.
Yeah.
I'm holding it. I'm gonna hold it.
The only thing will be Alabama's themselves. Like you saw, what kept Missouri in the game is so they had the one drive where they
what kept Missouri
in the red zone.
Alabama basically. This is the problem this is the one issue with Alabama so far this year outside the Florida State game. Look, Florida State game, it happened.
Yeah.
Weird though that the losing team is actually surging while the winning team
back down to the bottom.
But really the issue with Alabama and a lot of teams this year, besides only maybe Ohio State, that they have trouble closing out games. Yeah. Alabama could have put this game away early, like up 3 touchdowns early, but missed field goals and penalties, yada yada.
Tripping on your own guys' feet at the one.
Again, like you said, the only team Alabama won this game won this game convincingly, but the only reason it was close because they shot themselves on the foot.
Yeah, the sacks, got to clean up the sacks. Offensive line's got to be better in pass protection. Really is the offensive kind of slugfest, but when they needed to make plays, they made plays. And Ty Simpson did it again. When you need to make plays, Latavius Brooks, great catch.
Yeah.
And
basically during this game, I had a few I tweeted this out right after the game, and I pretty much said this. Missouri's a playoff team. I still think Missouri's a playoff team. They're a really good football team. They don't quit.
No.
They don't quit.
The pass rush was really good.
And Purvila got a lot better throughout the game. Is he a great quarterback?
No.
I don't think so. I mean,
you're gonna have to make better. When you get to these,
we'll see what Purvila is going to be. Their back half of the schedule is going to be a lot tougher than it was. The second thing I had is obviously Bama closing out games. Second thing is Latavius Brooks. Latavius Brooks is
clutch.
Is this year's breakout Ryan Williams. He's the breakout receiver this year.
Yeah.
He made a couple of big plays, including that 4th and 8 play, which kind of put the game away. It made
it tougher for Missouri to do anything.
5 minutes left in the game, with a little over 3 minutes left in the game. And then Daniel Hill has to step up.
Yeah.
I still think Missouri's a playoff team.
Yeah. If you're Missouri, though, it's going to be hard. Like, the recipe's out to beat you. If you can, especially this week when you go to Auburn, Auburn's a really good rush defense. You're going to have to – it's going to be – we said it last week. The ways Missouri could win this game is Purvila is going to have to make plays, whether it's his feet or his arm. And his feet he really didn't do much besides maybe he ran for like 1 or 2 first downs, but that was it. Missouri
really is missing Theo Weiss Jr. and Luke from last year because they don't have that player on the outside that scares you.
I just remember that they tried the fake punt. That was
I mean, Dre Washington made the play of the game.
Yeah, it was right next. It was so close. There was a lot of close plays in that game.
I thought this was a really, really good football game. I still think, again, everything I say in that tweet is still true. I still think Missouri's a really
Missouri's a well-coached team.
And I think Eli Drinkwitz is going to be Missouri. I like Eli Drinkwitz because that guy can coach. That guy can coach, and he is good. And then Ty Simpson does Ty Simpson things. It's like we say it every week, but everyone's now seeing it now. But you and I we were on the hype. We were on the team before, obviously because we're Alabama fans. But all we asked from Ty was be consistent. So far, he's done that. But yeah, good win by Alabama. Missouri, tough loss. Tough loss really could have benefited you. But here's the thing: if you run the table, you're going to be in. You're still a really good football team, and I still think Ahmad Hardy's a good football player.
Yeah, he is, but you're not going to win games being one-dimensional. You gotta show it with your arm as well. I mean, all right, let's get into the most controversial game of the week.
You start off with this game. I gotta go do something. I gotta go.
All right,
I got a call I gotta make.
Yeah, Georgia Auburn in Auburn. I mean, they were honored Cam Newton that night. Auburn jumped out and they dominated for the first 2 quarters. Really, I mean, Arnold really looked solid. They were completing passes. They were able to get the run game going. Georgia really had no answers. And then they did a good job possessing and holding up time in that game, really. And then one bad play, one bad call. You can't let officiating, I know it was a bad call. It was a very 50-50 call. You can't let a 50-50 call and what the Zebras do, control how you play and control that sideline. So it was a play. They're at the 1 yard line with right after the 2-minute warning, 2-minute timeout. Arnold leaps over, QB sneak, ball comes out. There's really was no clear. I would think it's a touchdown, but it's too close. The ball was kind of coming out. The same play happened in an earlier Deep South oldest rivalry game in the early 2000s, and it went Auburn's way and not Georgia's way. This time went Georgia's way, but they recovered the fumble and took it to the house. But no, they kept them at the 1 yard line and didn't allow continuation on that fumble. So if you're Auburn there, you could have gotten a stop on defense there, but then Gunnar Stockton drives them down all the way down. The field goal gets the field goal, and then that really turns the game over in the second half. In Georgia, I think they were down 10-3 at half, and then they just score, tie it up, and then they score again in those game. And Hugh Freeze is on life support, or he could be as gone as soon as this weekend, maybe, if the game doesn't go right. I mean, if you're Auburn, I mean, it's just a whole what-if season, this whole season so far. I mean, outside the A&M game, the Oklahoma game you could have won, A&M game you could have won as well, but you're off like too many mistakes. It's just the small little mistakes that keep adding up for Auburn, and you're not able to get over the hump. And the QB play has not been up to what it should have been. And I don't know if you're an Auburn fan, like you really don't have much hope right now, and feel bad for them, but it's just you got to win that game. I mean, you had Georgia on the ropes. You got to get in the end zone there. But other than that, I mean, Georgia survives. They had one loss entering that game that could have really put them on life support, but Kirby Smart, it was an emotional game for him returning back home to where his dad grew up. And I mean, Georgia's a weird team. I mean, their offense is solid. Their defense has been very shaky throughout this team, but whenever they get down, they bounce right back. They came back again. They were down 2 possessions, comes back, wins the game. They did it against Tennessee, did it against Auburn, both games on the road too, in hostile environments. And now Georgia gets to host Ole Miss. I mean, really, really big things. Welcome back. I mean, do you have anything to say on this game?
Ref ball.
Yeah.
Ref ball. Auburn.
The really big key that I said was you can't let the refs, you can't let zebras affect what happens the rest of the game. I mean,
I don't feel. I'm trying
it was such a 50-50 call.
I'm trying to word this to kind of take my bias out, because obviously,
yeah,
I go to Bama, but And I'm going to just say it. And if you say I'm biased, then I'm biased. I don't feel bad for Auburn. For Auburn football, I feel bad for their fans.
Yeah.
I feel bad for their fans because they deserve better. Even as an Alabama fan, they deserve better. They put all their support into this team. I don't feel bad for Auburn football, and I don't feel bad especially for Hugh Freeze. Look, the call didn't go your way. Yeah, that sucks. But Georgia was on the one.
Yeah, they could have been in the end zone, and it could have been a 14-point swing.
It could have been even worse. My issue with the game was Auburn didn't do anything in the second half.
Yeah, they let one call dictate to how they played. That's really what I was saying.
Like, Alabama didn't do anything against Georgia and they won. Well, Alabama stopped them.
Yeah.
Alabama stopped them, and it was on the road. Auburn had Jordan Hare rocking like an Iron Bowl game. It was a sight to behold at night in Auburn. But you can't go stale. You can't go stale against Georgia because Georgia this year is the Randy Marsh South Park meme. I didn't hear no bell. They start slow every game. They were down against Tennessee. They were down against Alabama. They were down against Auburn. 3 games they could have easily lost. And how many losses did they have? 1. They're 2-1 in games that they play terrible early. And that's good coaching for you right there. Georgia has their flaws and big flaws. They're not Georgia a few years ago, but they're a really good football team. And you got to play a full 60 minutes to beat Georgia, which is more than I can say for a lot of teams in college football. A lot of teams would just roll over and die. Georgia, nope. And Gunnar Stockton just gets better and better through games. He starts out bad, but then he just gets into a rhythm and he's consistent. Stockton's been underrated this year. He's been really good.
Solid.
He's won a game in Neyland Stadium and in Jordan Hare.
Yeah, both down by 2 possessions.
Yeah.
That's where the game flipped. Once you got the 3 points heading into half is really when the turnaround.
And the Georgia defense, with all their faults, makes adjustments in the second half, and they look like an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
Look, Georgia's got to fix something with their starts and everything. But again, they were the better team, and they won the game. I wanted Auburn to win this game.
Yeah, we both picked them.
Win this game for their sake. It's like you had a chance to beat Georgia.
Now you can beat Missouri this weekend if you even want to.
But it comes down to coaching.
Yeah. Do you want to get into previews?
Yeah. Let's. Is there any other games that we missed? I'm trying to think. LSU South Carolina was an ugly football game that was so much fun to watch.
Just a defensive game. And just mistakes game. Every time LSU
had 2 picks. South Carolina had interceptions. It was
LSU fumbled at the 1.
I mean,
LSU just couldn't get out of their own way that game. They played,
but they won the game, surviving.
Yeah, they won and somehow won by 10.
Yeah,
but all right. Here's
anything else?
LSU. Let's head into.
Oh, one more thing. Ohio State is the best team in the country. They're the best team in the country.
Julian Sand looked good. He is looking better and better.
They don't even have to try on offense, and they still beat teams by 20.
Yep.
Is that how bad Big Ten?
They still haven't allowed a first half touchdown.
Is that how bad Big Ten offense is? But outside of the big 3, I don't know. Look, I'm gonna give credit to Ohio State. They keep the old buck. They keep the old buck, and they are the best team in the country until proven otherwise.
Yep. All right. Speaking of LSU, let's hit on this game real quick. LSU heading to Nashville. with Vanderbilt actually favored in this game, which is the first time in a while.
These two teams, the only similarity between these two teams, they both have one loss. That's about it.
Yeah, they were like polar opposite.
They get their offense. They get their offense from two completely different ways. They play defense two completely different ways. Vanderbilt runs the football. LSU passes the football. Vanderbilt is pretty good against the run, pretty good against the run, but terrible against the pass. LSU is basically really good at defense. Currently, though, Vanderbilt's a 2.5-point favorite, which surprised me.
Yeah, it surprised me as well. But if you're LSU, this is like you have to win this game if you're LSU. But even if you're Vanderbilt, you have to win this game. Like, if you want,
it feels like an elimination game for
it is
because these teams have an SEC loss.
Yeah, it's an elimination game for the playoffs.
Add large bids, possibly, but they'd have to run a tough table.
Yeah, it's a win. It's a win.
It feels like an elimination game.
It's definitely an elimination game for either of these teams.
It's definitely an elimination game for
LSU and Vanderbilt. For both of them. I think it's for both of them because you still got tough roads ahead. I mean, LSU has to go to Norman still. They have to go to Tuscaloosa still. I mean, they have to play A&M still.
Vanderbilt's got Texas still. They got a few.
Georgia. I'm pretty sure they still have Georgia. Or they don't play Georgia. I don't know. Their schedule's not easy, and Tennessee still. But
yeah, Vanderbilt really quick has LSU, Missouri, Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, and Tennessee. That's not fun.
No, really two games that you can really say they'll probably be favored in those.
Yeah. So what's your read on this game?
I think the big key is if you're Vanderbilt here, if you want to win this, you got to get to Nussmeier because he is broken down in the pocket. Like he is so hurt. Like every time he takes a hit, he just limping off the field. It's like he's like, I just feel bad. He's taking hit after hit. His offensive line is terrible, and the receivers aren't doing much. You'd like to get. I don't think Aaron Anderson has played much. I think he's been hurt a little bit.
He's been hurt. He's going to be back this. He's going to be back this game though.
If you're not, Nuss hasn't really had a signature game this year. He's been really average.
He's been
average
to win, but really. LSU's won games this year by playing good defense.
Yep, Blake Baker.
We're going to keep winning games because I think the only bright spot really I saw in the LSU South Carolina game was LSU got their run game going. Now, I don't think South Carolina has a great run defense. I mean, there's been multiple teams that run on South Carolina, but
Vandy in particular.
But LSU started using the run game. The big key to this game, though, is going to be really on the defensive side for LSU. It's going to be strength on strength. According to Brian Kelly, Vanderbilt's the best in the country on third down because they're really good at getting it to third and short and third and manageable. Like they're one of the best teams.
I mean,
because they do a lot of triple option. They do a lot of
when they played in Tuscaloosa. When they played in Tuscaloosa, I only remember one or two third downs that weren't third and manageable for them. Yeah. And I think if you're Vanderbilt in this game, going up against a good LSU defense, is you can't have mistakes that are caused from your mistake.
LSU's got athletes on the outside.
Yeah,
they got Patrick Payne and Harold Perkins.
Fabia can't make the mistakes he made in Tuscaloosa in the red zone again. You have to be cleaner in your operation. You can't fumble.
If Vanderbilt's clean off turnovers, they probably win this.
Yeah. Because they can hold the time in possession.
If they don't turn the ball over so many times in Tuscaloosa, I think they're undefeated.
Yeah, probably so. But you gotta. It's little margins, and when you have to win games against good teams, it's just such fine margins, especially when you're a team up and coming. If you're LSU here, you just want to see more consistency out of your offense.
To beat Vanderbilt, you throw the football out. Yeah. Every team that's been in a game of Vanderbilt has been able to throw the football on them. Alabama, it was by far the best. Look, the game tape you look at is Alabama because LSU and Alabama, very similar in the passing game. They have the talent on the outside. but Alabama does a better job at staying balanced. Follow Alabama's game plan on offense. Run the football. You got to stay balanced. You've got to stay balanced if you're LSU, or none of this works. Vanderbilt doesn't have the talent that you got, but Vanderbilt's well coached, and they're disciplined. They don't make penalties. They don't do stupid penalties.
Yep. And the thing, if you're LSU, this is where you have to break out.
It's kind of a neutral. It feels like a neutral field, to be honest, because
LSU fans
are going to travel.
Yep, they're going to enjoy a nice weekend in Nashville, on Broadway, partying it up.
It's going to be a close. It's going to be a close game. This is one of the games I'm super excited for. This week.
And it's an early game too.
Yeah, we get to watch it.
You can wake up and you can party all day after if you're an LSU fan, if they're in a good way or a bad way. You need to get Barry and Brown involved and Aaron Anderson, especially if he's coming back off injury. I mean, this is a game where Nuss has to break out in the passing game. You got to keep him protected.
Yeah.
Because Vanderbilt can get after it when the passing game, and if you're running game, you can't get that going against a pretty solid. I mean, Vanderbilt rushing defense, you can get after it a little bit. You saw it with Alabama, but that was really because they were worn out. But
yeah,
if you're LSU, you can't get behind early because Vanderbilt can just control clock and your defense. I mean, it's really just going to be if LSU's offense can get any consistency going. Really, that's really the big key in this game. Yeah. I think LSU wins just because they have more like hype around them, and really, I don't know about Vanderbilt still, but should be a good game. But let's get into the next game. We can touch on this game real quick since it's not SEC, but USC and Notre Dame.
USC has a screaming win, a big win. Yeah. But Michigan is a young team.
Yeah, they're really, a bad coach team.
If you really want to solidify yourself as a playoff team, you beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a good football team. Is a really good football team. They're both really good football teams, and this is one of the bigger USC Notre Dame games I know in a long time. Both teams are really good, and both these teams are still in the playoff picture. If Notre Dame runs the table, they're probably in.
The thing with this is an elimination game for both. I mean, Notre Dame, you have to win this game.
Yeah, it's in.
This is your game, your toughest game left. This is the only game you can have that will be like. If you're the committee in Texas, in Grapevine, Texas, you're sitting in your room in the committee room, and you're like, "What wins does Notre Dame have?" When you look back in December, and if they're like 10-2 still, if they have this win over USC, especially USC coming off a good win, that will really help them out because I think this will be a bit different game than USC Notre Dame games in the past. This is going to be like a Hollywood game. Like even though it's in South Bend, it's going to be high scoring. Both of these offenses love to get. It's not much defense in this game. Like Notre Dame's defense.
I think both teams are going to try to make it into a low scoring game, but I think it's eventually going to turn into a shootout.
They're both passing attacks have just been unreal to start the season. And Maiava has been really good. CJ Carr has surprised a lot of people. He's been really good. You got to lean on this run game for Notre Dame. Eat some clock with Jeremiah Love, Price. I mean, I forget what the running back for USC. He's pretty solid.
They're both really good. They're both really good running games.
In Notre Dame, both of these defenses are. I mean, Notre Dame's usually known to have a good defense, but this year it's been very average. But this game's going to come down to which defense can make enough stops to win this game.
Absolutely,
because it's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. It's going to be a good game. But
absolutely, it's going to be a great game.
You have anything else on this game?
Nope. Great game. Line of scrimmage.
You should take over for this game, the College Game Day.
Let's do it. So, Ole Miss takes on Georgia this week in Athens. 2:30. Ole Miss is the higher ranked team this year, which is not that wouldn't have been on my bingo card. I'll tell you that.
No.
I mean, Ole Miss is good. I knew Ole Miss would be good, but ranked in the top 5? Okay, that's something. But they're going into Athens. They're
After
going into Athens. Trinidad Chambliss. One of the big stories of the year. Division II national champion goes to Ole Miss, takes over for Austin Simmons. Been on fire. But Ole Miss, very, very, very sluggish against Washington State. Was on upset.
that was a bad game.
But then took over late. Obviously, it was pretty much a look ahead spot, I believe. I think we all kind of think it was a look ahead spot for Ole Miss, but you're going into Sanford Stadium. You're going into Sanford Stadium with a Georgia team that's angry. They haven't played last year. They haven't played in I was about to say they haven't played in Sanford since Alabama, but no, they actually did play.
Yeah, they played Kentucky.
They played Kentucky. Do or die. Well, not really do or die for both these teams, but
probably for Georgia more so than.
Way more for Georgia because Ole Miss is still undefeated.
And you host Texas. You still host Texas.
You host Texas, yeah.
If you're Ole Miss here, you're gonna have to rely on your passing game. And your passing game, Lane Kiffin knows these Georgia secondary is very gettable, but you have to win with your Trinidad Chambliss is a very elite runner. If you can get him out in the open as well.
They got to get into third and manageables, though.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Alabama did.
Yeah.
Getting into third and manageables and ask Chambliss to make one or two big throws. Because it's way harder to beat Georgia in Athens.
Yep.
Hell, Alabama had to go whole 60 minutes, and it was a war. Georgia might have outplayed them that game. I don't know.
The thing about Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin in these type of games is he usually never comes through in these games. Like usually you can't trust him.
He got his first big win against Georgia last year.
It was a home game though. He hasn't won when was the biggest road game he's won in his time? Every time he's been like favored or should win at Death Valley, they always lose. Like was it maybe at A&M when A&M was meh? I really can't figure it out which. Maybe when they beat South Carolina last year. I don't know. I can't really remember when his biggest win on the road is.
That's tough.
I don't know if he had how many ranked road games has Lane Kiffin won at Ole Miss. It's probably one or two, maybe.
Ole Miss is kind of in a place where they've kind of squeaked by, but now they're going to prove that if you're legit, go beat a team. Go beat a team that's really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, these next 2 weeks, we talked about it earlier in previous episodes. You play 2 games back-to-back on the road against Georgia and Oklahoma. And those 2 environments are not easy.
You got to split.
Yeah.
You got to split if you're them.
Or you lose those and win out. I mean, really.
I mean, for Georgia, I think it's the run game.
You got to get the run game going. You got to keep that Ole Miss offense off the field.
I think Bowens and Frazier have to shine make a statement game. I think that's where I kind of lean for Georgia.
And if you're Stockton, I feel really good about Stockton heading into this game because he can make those throws, and that secondary is pretty gettable for Ole Miss.
Is starting off. You got to start off hot. You got to get them right.
Yeah.
Start slow.
You cannot start off down 2 possessions.
Alabama, Auburn. Is it going to be another slow start for Georgia, or is Georgia going to start fast for the first time all year?
I could see them starting. It just depends if they get the ball first. I think they can go down and score just to set the tempo. But I don't know that. It seems like the defense just doesn't wake up until the second half is really when they adjust.
Kiffin will dice up the secondary. I do think that. It's just, will they break? Will they break in the end zone? I think Georgia's got to get better at not breaking in the red zone. Georgia's got to get better at not giving away touchdowns. Look, you could sometimes letting Lingati drive down the field's fine. Just selling for 3, it depends. Do you make them sell for 3 or do you make them sell for 7?
Yeah.
That sometimes is the difference in the game, and it was the difference in Georgia's one loss against Alabama. Alabama, every time they got into the red zone, it felt like, oh, touchdown.
They scored every time except for the one field goal.
Yeah, and that wasn't even in the red zone.
No, it was just outside. But all right, it's going to be a good game on between the hedges, and I don't know. It's
huge
right
game
now. I think Georgia's going to win.
Huge game for Georgia. Could be a statement win, a program statement win for Kiffin.
If Kiffin especially wins back to back over Kirby,
goes back to back over Kirby, then everyone will take Ole Miss seriously, like super seriously.
I mean, I'm still like on the fence of what I think about them this year. This is really like their prove it game for me, and I know a lot of people agree, especially after last week's game. You can't lose.
I mean, their biggest win was LSU, and we both kind of said,
we're on the fence. LSU is on the fence. Like, I don't know what to think about them.
Yeah,
they could be really solid or they could be really bad. Like really mid.
Big game. Big game for Georgia. Gonna be a fun one in Athens.
You want to save the best for last, or you want to hit it? Let's hit this game real quick, because it could be last game for Hugh Freeze, or does it?
Tiger Bowl. This is gonna be
Tiger Bowl.
Strength on strength.
Remember the last time these two teams played in Jordan-Hare?
Yeah,
it was like the overtime game. It was like one of their like only SEC wins at home in the past like.
This game is strength on strength.
Yeah,
Auburn has the.
It's like a top 3 at least. If it was like one of the best, it's like top 10.
Missouri has a top 10 rushing offense, and Auburn is just outside the top 10 in rush defense.
Yeah.
So there's your
game.
There's your game right there.
And which quarterback do you trust more in this game? I don't really know who to trust in this game. It's hard. Maybe Prebula, because he's won more games this year, but he hasn't played anybody.
Arnold. Arnold.
Just because he's been in bigger spots, I guess.
I like Auburn's weapons more than I do Missouri's. I think Auburn has a higher chance of. I like Missouri's coaching. I like Auburn's personnel more.
I think Auburn might win this game.
Auburn needs this win.
Auburn's. Just for them, I want them to win this game. I feel bad for them.
They're
due to get one.
They're desperate. Missouri's also angry. Also, fun fact: this is the first time Missouri is going on the road this year.
Yeah,
they haven't left Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah,
this is their first road game. It's just that's the schedule.
Yeah,
weird schedule, but yeah, this is almost first road test. First time a crowd's not behind them.
I don't know what to expect with this game. Really, it's going to come down to which quarterback can make plays.
Strength on strength. Whoever wins the strength battle will win this game.
Yeah. If you're Auburn, you got to get your pass. You got to get Cam Coleman going. You got to get Singleton going. You got to get Simmons going.
And they got an offense. It's in there.
Yeah.
It's in there.
I mean, what's that locker room like? Especially you lose that game and then you're running one of your players on your team quits because you kind of get redshirted, I guess. I don't know what the full story on that's kind of crazy, but like, what's the locker room like? Like, you got to, if you're Jackson Arnold, man, you got to get the ball to your playmakers. Like, you have one of the best receivers in the country.
That's how you win this game.
Yeah, it's which quarterback can make throws and not make interceptions.
You can torch Missouri.
Yeah, I think if you're Arnold hasn't really made many interceptions, though. That's the thing. Like, I feel like I don't really remember him making much interceptions.
Yeah.
So I probably trust Arnold more than
I'm worried about Auburn's offensive line against Zion Young.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
I'm worried about.
Yeah, but he can get out and Arnold can get out and run though. He's a pretty fast quarterback. All right, let's get into the third Saturday in October.
Yep. Alabama versus hosting Tennessee. This is Tennessee's right outside the top 10. Alabama's in the top 10.
In the past 3 years, Tennessee, it's been home. The home team has won the past 3 years.
Yep.
Will continue.
Heupel hasn't won Tuscaloosa. DeBoer hasn't won a game against Tennessee. Now, granted, he's only played one game against Tennessee. Now, granted, it's one game against Tennessee, but someone's record's going to be broken. One record's going to be broken.
Which team will be smoking cigars? If you're Alabama here, Tennessee's run defense is absolute horrible. They just gave up like 250 yards on the ground.
Tennessee's defense is incredible.
Yeah.
Pass rush
is like the best part of their defense.
Fine. Their passing defense. Gerard McCoy being out is massive.
Yeah.
For Tennessee. And Tennessee's going up against the best receiving core they might see all year. And Georgia torched them. And Georgia has a good receiving core, but it's not Alabama.
Arkansas, Bobby Petrino in Arkansas torched them as well. I was watching like Taylon Green. Granted, they were up 17 in the fourth quarter. It's kind of like they made it a game. It was a 3-point game.
Last week it was a kind of I don't know what you think if you're Tennessee. Like Tennessee's a weird team because they have one loss, which is that loss to Georgia, but it feels like they've lost one more game.
Yeah, but they haven't.
They're good. They're good. That's the weird thing. Tennessee's still a good football team.
All their SEC games have been one-score games.
Yeah, like Mississippi State, close. Arkansas, close. Probably this game's going to be close. Georgia, close. This game's probably going to be close.
Yeah, this game can definitely be close because Tennessee.
It could. I think it could be a shootout.
Yeah.
Shootout.
Alabama's really the difference with this game this year is Tennessee doesn't have a running game. Like
no.
Not having Dylan Sampson this year
it's not dead.
No, it's nowhere near as good as it was last year.
SEC Player of the Year, Dylan Sampson.
Yeah.
Tennessee still has a good run game. Look, their offense, the veer and shoot, relies on the run game. If you can't run the football, then you saw it in 23. When Tennessee couldn't run the football, it was a bad time for Tennessee.
Yeah.
Also, having a night game, not super fun for Tennessee.
No, but
it's not going to be fun.
Tennessee, you're going to have to get off to a hot start. That's what
he's got.
It seems like every first possession, Alabama's, besides the Georgia game, I feel like, at least in SEC play, they've given up 2 opening drives in the first.
And for Tennessee, the way you beat Alabama is you make them one-dimensional. Look, Ty Simpson's great and all, but if you make them one-dimensional, there's still that Florida State game. That Florida State game still has something. You make them one-dimensional. That's how you beat Alabama.
Especially with who knows Jam Miller's status. Right now it's questionable, but he probably won't play. I would guess he's not playing. Yeah. But
and for Alabama, the big thing is staying disciplined, especially in the back end, because last year that game could have been a blowout early if Nico hit his deep shots. Aguilar will hit his deep shots.
Yeah, if you're Damani's been kind of getting picked on lately in the secondary, and this is a game I feel like he's gonna have a big game.
Become a lockdown.
Yeah,
which I get because he's 6'4".
I think Damani Jackson's gonna have a pick this weekend.
I hope so.
If you're the thing with this Tennessee offense, they are prone. They can be prone to throwing like arm punt interceptions, and you gotta.
Aguilar doesn't have a ton of zip on the football. He throws a lot of moon balls, which isn't a bad thing. It's worked.
A lot of underthrown balls. Chris Brazzell is one of the best.
Chris Brazzell is a mismatch for everyone.
Yeah.
When you have 6'4", you have a 6'4" guy, then really tough to
him. And I would like to see, since Dijon Lee they're like the same height, that would be a good matchup.
That would be, but I think that's bad. That's a bad matchup for Dijon.
Yeah, speed.
Going to get up against a Tennessee receiver who knows how to run the veer and shoot. That's not a good match for a freshman. Alabama, they're very thankful this game's at home. I'll tell them that. Because I'm worried about this. I think Bama wins, but it's not going to be by 8.5. I don't like that spread at all. I think this could be tight.
I kind of think Alabama might.
It's Alabama, Tennessee. I'm not taking Tennessee lightly. Tennessee's a really good team. Heupel will torch us. Aguilar will have nice numbers at the end of the game. I do think that.
Yeah, he'll probably throw for like 262, but
But again,
260 or more.
again, maybe the inexperience of Tennessee comes back to bite them on the road because they've been the thing with Heupel at this time as Tennessee is they haven't been good on the road.
No, they've been bad on the road.
They're
Arkansas last year
in Neyland. They're really good in Neyland, which fair because Neyland's one of the toughest places to play in the country. But they're not good on the road. That's how you beat Tennessee.
If you're Alabama on offense, you got to be balanced because this run defense is so like
Jam Miller's questionable.
Kevin Riley, Daniel Hill, A.K. Deere.
I think Daniel Hill's going to have a big game.
Yeah.
Daniel Hill, for people that don't know, he's 230 pounds. He's a big dude. He's that Kevin Riley is the Sonic to pretty much Daniel Hill's Knuckles. That's basically what the best summarization I got for this game.
On offense for Alabama, you just have to play clean. You can't take big sacks. You gotta.
Yeah, Alabama's a good team at home, but they just gotta stay focused.
Stay out of your own ways. You can't make your own mental errors. Like you
gotta stay focused.
You gotta play clean.
I think Ryan Williams has a big game. He was injured last week. You could tell like they didn't target him a lot because they knew he was probably
banged up.
But I think Ryan Williams could have a big
Jeremy Bernard's going to have a huge game. He was talking earlier in the week because you know how they play man defense. Tennessee likes playing man defense. He could be up for a big game. Jeremy Bernard.
Again, and another thing that really goes against Tennessee is Alabama's angry. Alabama's angry. Like they remember last year. They remember they probably should have won that game. But
you know what would be funny? I'm calling it right now. Caden Proctor is scoring a touchdown.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. That's probably a bet right now on FanDuel. But
it would be so funny. Like just imagine him scoring. It'd be awesome.
I'm expecting a shootout. This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm expecting a shootout.
I'm so glad that night, so that people are going to see like a really good game at night.
Yep. There'll be some other good.
Brian Day's going to have a. When was the last? I know this is weird, but I think this is the biggest night game in Brian Denny Stadium
since last year, Georgia.
Yeah, like Alabama doesn't have a lot of night games.
We did not have any. We only had one night. I mean, I guess the night games we had last year, right?
Games. I mean, we're used to 2:30s at this point, which I don't mind.
Well, maybe the rest of the depending on how the other teams do. So you have this game at home, and then you have Oklahoma and LSU. Those games. I mean, LSU game will probably be at night, so you at least probably.
It's gonna be a fun football game. Again, it's third Saturday in October, so I'm not taking this one lightly. This is gonna be a good, fun football game.
It'll be high scoring as well. I mean, you can never. I think Alabama's defensive scheme kind of fits perfect.
Best offensive minds in the country going at it.
Alabama's defensive scheme kind of fits into what Tennessee wants to do because it kind of wants to keep you in front and doesn't want to get beat deep in. Yeah. Like last year, we showed Nico could not hit the deep ball as well. The defense for Alabama actually played pretty solid in that game. But we'll see what happens. All right. You want to get into picks?
Let's do it.
Good long episode for today, guys. Let's get into picks.
113.
This could be a trap game for a certain ACC team. Start the day at 11 a.m. Georgia Tech heading into Duke. This is a.
Oh yeah, that's a trap game. Georgia Tech.
I like Georgia Tech just because I like Brent Key, and I think he's an awesome coach. And I would love to see them in the playoffs. So give me Georgia Tech.
There's a game on here that I want to bring up. I don't know if you have it in Pick'ems, but a rematch to the ACC championships at 11 a.m. this week.
Yeah, we could. I mean, Miami though.
No, a rematch to the ACC championship.
Oh yeah.
Is this week at 11 a.m.
Oh yeah, no. Clemson and SM. I do not have that game.
It's weird. I just wanted to bring it up because one, I'm from Dallas, so pony up, and second, Klubnik, I don't think is going to play.
Birmingham boy, Birmingham native, and rival to my high school. Briarwood, Chris Vizina. He's like a junior. He played last week. I watched some of that game against Boston College. He did not.
I thought I thought that Clemson SMU game would possibly be a night game in College Game Day, but
Yeah, it could have been, but both of these teams have been kind of bad. But
they had
if
down
Klubnik doesn't play, I think SMU could. If SMU can get their offense going, I don't know if
SMU.
Clemson can score.
I think SMU is undefeated in the ACC play so far. I know one of their losses.
They've lost to TCU and Baylor. That's the only two I know. But I think they're undefeated.
They're running for the ACC title game still. And if they win this game, guess what? They could possibly be the ones that challenge Miami. Who knows?
Yeah. And their offense is still good. You still have Kevin
Miami
Jennings
later in the year, but we'll see.
It depends if Cade plays. If Cade plays, then Clemson probably wins.
Yeah.
But if
I just wanted to bring that up.
Plays,
yeah. No one's thinking about it, but yeah, it was a rematch of last year's ACC championship. All right, let's get to pick. Let's do it. I got Georgia Tech.
October. You have Cocktober, or do you have Oklahoma in a bounce back? I'm gonna pick Oklahoma. I don't know.
I'm picking South Carolina. To beat South Carolina. To beat South Carolina, you got to run the football, and Oklahoma doesn't have a run game. Plus, I think South Carolina's going to win one of these big games. They're winning
back-to-back home games against Alabama and Oklahoma. So we'll see for Oklahoma and Alabama. All right, this game.
Yeah, I got South Carolina winning in October.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma wins. I just think South Carolina just seems like they're kind of just dead man's walking at this point.
Maybe so.
We'll see, though. I mean, Oklahoma needs it bad. They both need it bad, but Oklahoma, if they want to make the playoffs with the aspirations they've had to start the season, you got to win this game. This game could be interesting. Could be a shootout. Texas A&M heads to Arkansas. This game used to be in Jerry's World, but actually it's not anymore.
Jerry's World this year?
No, it's back. It's back home sites now. Whenever it's in Jerry's World, it used to always be cinema. There used to always be some controversial play or like high scoring game. Now it's at home stadiums, and Arkansas gets the first one.
Yeah,
it's been kind of weird seeing these two games.
I've actually got A&M winning big.
Yeah, I got A&M
winning big. Their A&M's defense is really good this year.
This could be a trap game though for A&M. All right.
Watch out.
Another team you're familiar with. Texas Tech heads to Arizona State. Sam Leavitt, questionable. Probably you said probable.
Yeah, he's probable.
Yeah, I got the Red Raiders as well.
Without him.
Texas Tech's run game has been great. The problem with Texas Tech is their quarter, like Brett Morton cannot stay healthy.
Their backup's been playing good. It's line of scrimmage play that's really made Texas Tech the threat in the Big 12.
It's called the oil prices are going up. All right. Who do you have in the game in South Bend? I like the Irish.
Do I go with what I want or what I think is going to happen?
I think Notre Dame's going to win this game. USC is coming off the big win. You got USC?
Yeah, I got spot on.
Wow.
I think they get a statement win.
I could see it because their defense has been much improved and their offense. It just depends which defense.
USC can run the football this year.
Yeah, both teams can. All right, Missouri Tiger Bowl at night. I got Auburn. Yeah, it's a night game.
Huh. Okay. MIZ.
Yeah.
ZOU. I said Missouri's playoff team. I'm going to stick with it.
I just think Auburn is due.
Ahmad Hardy. Dog.
All right. Battling it out in Nash Vegas.
Give me
LSU or Vandy.
If you watch SEC shorts, you know what I'm picking.
Vandy.
The Vandy pimp rises again. Vandy.
LSU. I think Nuss is going to
Vandy.
LSU.
Time of possession. Time of possession, Pavia, Vandy.
Crazy. Last year, LSU actually won against Vandy, with even though their defense was just so bad. But this time, all right, third Saturday in October. Yep. I think Alabama is going to win.
Tennessee covers. Wins.
I think Alabama is going to win by 10.
I hope so. Tennessee covers.
45, maybe 45-35 or something. It's going to be high scoring.
Tennessee covering. I think it's going to be tight.
35-25, something. It's going to be a high scoring game.
I want to blow them out.
38-24, I can see that.
I want it, but I respect Tennessee too much.
This game I've been kind of going back and forth on.
I got the Tide winning because it's at home. Heupel has struggles on the road, and I think Alabama's defense makes play.
Here's a surprise team who's been unbeaten. We got BYU hosting Utah for the Holy War.
In one of my favorite rivalry names ever. It is
this game
perfect it is so perfect. Where is it this year in BYU?
In BYU, I think I'm gonna stick with Utah. Getting the win on the road, but BYU, man, BYU's at home is just a different animal. But just they barely snuck out a win last week, and then Arizona, Bachmeier.
I just watched that game against Arizona. That was way closer than it needed.
It was like the game was like rain delayed, I think, for like 2 or 3 hours, and then it came back. I've got Utah.
I'm gonna go with Utah. I think
that's Winningham.
I think they possibly go play Texas Tech again in a rematch.
Yeah,
possibly.
And I think they could get him in a rematch.
If they win this game, they go play Texas Tech again.
Yeah, I like Devin Dampier. He's pretty solid.
I do think though, probably the winner of this game goes to the Big. I think the winner of this game possibly goes to the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, BYU is undefeated. But Bear Bachmeier, the freshman.
Imagine a world 5 years ago that you get the Red Raiders against the Mormons in the Big 12 championship.
That'd be funny.
It legitimately happened this year.
Yeah, and Bear Bachmeier, what a name for a quarterback. And he's like number
47.
47. Awesome. Yeah, it's a weird.
Awesome. And it's a night game too.
Yeah, it's like 6.
Sign me up.
It's like 7 or. I wish it was like 9, like a late night. But I wish it was like a late night, like after all the Bama and.
But here's the thing, though. We get to watch most of the game, so we can't.
Yeah, I can watch the second half. All right, you got any other?
Oh, you forgot
lines for us.
You forgot Georgia.
Oh, I did forget Georgia and Ole Miss. Yeah, who do you got in that game? I knew I was gonna forget one.
Wolf. Bark. Dog bark. Georgia.
I got UGA. I don't trust Kiffin on the road in big spots.
Georgia at home. Different animal.
If Ole Miss wins this game, it'll be Trinidad Chambliss going.
Trinidad Chambliss are probably Heisman finalists if they win this game.
Yeah, he's gonna have to throw for probably like 270 yards, probably rush.
Right now, what we're expecting right now, the Heisman finalists are probably gonna be Simpson, Mendoza, Moore.
That's not more after that week.
Carson Beck.
Yeah, definitely Carson Beck.
Trinidad
Mendoza hasn't really put up. Mendoza's been solid.
Trinidad Chambliss can make himself some money if they win this game.
The thing with Mendoza, I think he's really solid, but he doesn't have the numbers for the Heisman. Like he hasn't had to put up. I guess these next couple weeks he can stat pad before, because really they don't have like a marquee game, and usually the Heisman. If you win the hard marquee games.
If Ole Miss wins this game, it will be on Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah.
But I don't see Georgia. I don't see Georgia losing twice in Athens in a year.
All right. Yeah. Should be another great college football weekend. Should like rival these like this past weekend. Really, there's a lot of really interesting matchups.
Here's how we did last week since we got a little bit of time.
All right. Last week, let's see. I'm trying to tally up the numbers here.
I know.
0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, And then
Brutal.
you went 5-5. I think I went maybe 6-5 or something. It was a bad week for us. Or 6 and
500?
how many wins how many losses I had? I had one loss.
Were we 500?
1-1, 1-2, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3, 4-3. I went 7-3.
All right, nice. All right. Anything else we got to wrap up? I think we got everything.
I think we got everything. I mean,
we got the firings. We talked about the firings. We talked about the games. We got previews and we got picks. Yeah, we got everything.
Yeah, longest episode we've had so far.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. We know a lot about college football.
All right, we'll be back next week, guys, with football. Another great football weekend. We'll be back next Tuesday, as always. We'll get it out Tuesday night. Nicholas Elliott, JD Zasa, we're signing off. Have a great weekend. Peace.